Pa's doing all the hard work, but you know, it takes longer to shuck all this corn than it does creaming it, cutting it off the cob, creaming it, and putting it in the freezer. So he's got the hard job. He's shucking about, I think, around 40 ears. But he absolutely loves this corn put up this way. Danny come in and he cut the kernels off the cob for me too. And he scraped them cobs good and got that good sweet milk off there. That's the best part, and it makes some really good, sweet, creamed corn. This is our favorite way of putting it up and eating it. Now I'm going to show you an easy way. Easy way. I've done this all my life. This is the way I put corn up in the freezer. Everybody has their own way. But this is about 20 cups of corn. And I put a little bit of salt, and I'm going to put about a half a cup of sugar. You don't have to put sugar in there, especially if your corn is already really sweet. But I added maybe a half a cup or a little more to it. And that's just going to help it be just a little bit sweeter too, and make that good milk off that cob, make it sweet too. And I'm going to end up putting about a stick of butter. And what I do and what I've always done is I cook this low and slow. And you can even do this in the oven. Back before I ever had a roaster like this, I used to do it in the oven. And I'm just going to put it on 200 degrees. I want it to cook really low. And you can do this in a slow cooker too if you wanted to. But it just cooking it this way just brings out the flavors, and it's just so good. Our corn is good and cooled off, so we're going to put it up now. I'm going to stir it again. I'm not sure. I think what I'll do is, let's see, I'll probably put 2 cups. I'm going to see, but I'm probably going to put 2 cups in each bag, because me and Mr. Brown really love this corn. And between me and him, I think we both eat a cup. Let me see. I'll have to look at it. Probably a cup and a half. That's a cup. Yeah, a cup and a half. Be good. I got these off Amazon, and they come up to where you can use gallon bags on it too. But I'm just using quart bags. And I put cream corn on each bag. I'm just going to get as much air out of it as I can. And then all you got to do is just kind of flatten it out. And these will stack real good in your freezer, so it won't take up very much room. But I just like the taste of the corn better when it's done this way, and freezing it better than I do canning it. I mean, that's just me. I do canned corn. I'm not going to can any this year because I've still got canned corn on my shelf. So this is how we do it. And this is one of my first experiences with homemade creamed corn, and that was by Danny's mom, my mother-in-law. On Sundays, I always look forward to our Sunday dinners because she put up corn, creamed corn, out of the garden. I don't remember them having growing a lot of corn, so I don't know if maybe she might have bought corn too. But she grew everything else. But she would pick up her creamed corn, fresh corn, and then we'd have fried okra, and them two together Just so good. Fried okra, cream corn, fresh tomatoes. She always usually had coleslaw. So I'm going to get the rest of these bagged up, and let's see how much it made. If we have somebody come over and I want to take out some corn for them, I'll just take out 2 bags. But this right here should be enough for me and Danny a meal. Now I laid out my bags of corn on this cookie sheet. I'm going to put it down in my deep freeze, and I'm going to let it flash freeze like this. And once it gets good and frozen, I'll take them out of there, and then I'll put them in my little freezer, and then I'll stack them up on top of each other. We had to have some of this good old corn for supper. So we had the cream corn, some sliced homegrown tomatoes, and some fresh home-baked bread. So good. I want to give you a little update on my hydroponics here in the house. I have ate lettuce off this twice already. When you cut it, it comes back really fast. My basil is doing so good. I've been nipping off the top and drying it or using it fresh. The cilantro's really looking good. And the parsley. The celery's taking a while back there. I don't know. We'll see. But it's just all doing really, really good. And I will be probably getting me another one, or maybe 2, not sure. And of course, in the fall, I'm going to here pretty soon be planting a bunch of greens and lettuces, and I'll have them all winter, through the fall and all winter, plumb up to spring until it gets too hot. A lot of spinach and kale and all kinds of lettuce. I'm going to plant some carrots, but I love the idea of having these herbs in here, and they're doing so good, and there's no bugs, nothing's eating on them, no dirt. I mean, they're just as clean, and they're just thriving in here. Now, there is a reservoir in here that you do put water in here, and what you do is you watch your little thingamajiggy here, and that shows you the level of your water. And when it starts getting down here close to this bottom red line is when I'll add water. Now, people have been asking me about, well, what about the nutrients that the plants need? Well, you also have 2 different kinds of fertilizers, nutrient fertilizers that you put in your water. No, it's not compost or nothing I made myself. It is I forget, I'd have to look, but you do put so much each time that you're watering to give it the nutrients that it needs. And it is getting plenty because everything looks so green and so pretty. And like I said, I've ate a couple of times off of this lettuce, and everything's just thriving. And as it gets tall, I can move this up taller. When I cut this back or cut my lettuce back, I can move the light down shorter. But you can see how the basil and the parsley and the all of that is getting taller, but it's just doing really good. So I'm really impressed by it. I mean, it's so easy. The kit is so easy to even start with your seeds, and just putting it together is really easy. And the seeds just come up really fast. And it's just been no trouble at all. No trouble at all. So I don't, I bought this myself. I don't get no money from showing y'all this. But when I get something like this that I really like and enjoy, I like to share it with y'all. And there's different ones. This one is I don't even know how to pronounce it, tell you the truth. But that's the name of it. But there's different brand names. There's different ones. So the cilantro, it's all thriving. So, and I can imagine having at least one more that I would do nothing but some different herbs that I can just walk over here and just nip some off very fresh, especially this winter, and use it in my cooking. So that's just an idea. So if any of y'all think you would like something like this, just go to Amazon. This one that I bought will be in my Amazon store, but there's all different kinds of others too. But I really do like it. I want to share something else with y'all because I love show and tell. I love sharing with y'all. This is a bread knife. This is called a fiddle bow knife for cutting bread, homemade bread. This was handmade. And I'll put the link down below if I can find it. I love to support our small businesses here in our area, in all different states here in the United States, and even different countries. I love the small businesses, the people that that do all these things, and they're not big corporations, and they do all this by hand, and do a really good job. So I love supporting these folks. And like I said, if I find, and I'm pretty sure I can, the place where I went to get this. Now, when they sent this to me, it was wrapped very, very well. The blade was wrapped, everything was wrapped very well, and they sent it to me, and I got it pretty quick. And not only that, I got the nicest letter with it, them thanking me for even, considering and just buying something from them. So I thought, how sweet was that? But I love this thing. It's got a good handle on it. Of course, my bread. And you can cut it pretty straight with this thing. It's just really easy to use and does a really good job. If you want it thin or if you want it thicker, it does a good job. I love it. So I just want to share that with y'all. It's called this is a walnut fiddle bow knife, bread knife. And I will put that down in my link below, down my information box. So what I think I'm going to do, every so often, some of my videos, probably, well, it's going to take several videos to get through all this, but I'm going to start going through and showing y'all my cookbooks. And a lot of these cookbooks were given to me as gifts from a lot of my beautiful subscriber friends. Most of them were bought at flea markets. There are some that I did buy brand new, but not very many. And I've got some really, really, really old cookbooks that were given to me as gifts from some of y'all, and I want to share them. And it's going to take me several videos to get through them, because I want not only show them to you, I just want to kind of go through them, and I don't have my glasses with me, so I'm going to go get my glasses before we do this. where I'm sitting is I'm sitting in one end of my sunroom. And I made this end kind of like my own little area. It's got all my books right here. I'm wanting to get some new bookshelves. I just haven't done it yet. So when y'all see my bookshelves, you're going to think, good night, woman. Get you some new shelves. I am. But for right now, this is fine. It's going to take some really good, sturdy bookshelves. I may have to have some built because all these books are very heavy. And I had them, a bunch of them on a bookshelf in the other room. And when I went to go through them and bring them on here, them shelves were just like this. They were just cheap old Walmart shelving. And didn't last. In fact, we just put it on the burn pile. But this is just one room into my, and you can see there's some of them. Some of my books. And I also have children's books on that very bottom shelf to read to the grandkids. They love it when Paul reads to them. But anyways, we are going to start going through some of these books. So, and some of y'all are going to say, hey, I've got that cookbook. I got my little love seat sits back here. And I got this love seat, several months ago at one of my favorite flea markets in Hoxie, Arkansas. It's called Mom Paws. And I think I give $100 for it. And it is an older one. It's got good legs on it. Good and sturdy. It's an older one. They built them better back then. But I wanted something small in here. It didn't take up much room. But something, you know, kind of vintage. Something kind of antique looking. Of course, I just put one of my quilts right there. Then I've got another chair right here for somebody to sit in. And then that's the other end of the sunroom. But this is the end that I enjoy the most because this is my end. This is the end that I can come and I'll sit here and I'll look out the window at the birds. And if it's raining, I'll sit there. But this is where my books are. And a lot of times this is where I'll sit when I'm answering comments from y'all and stuff like that. It's just nice to have your own little corner, you know, just yours. But so let's start looking. I think I'll start on this bottom shelf down here. And we'll just start going through a few. And we'll start there. And as time goes on and vary in quite a few videos, we'll just keep going through these. If y'all enjoy doing this, y'all let me know in the comments below that you love seeing the cookbooks. I mean, I am a cookbook fanatic. Like I've told y'all before, I just read them like some people do novels and stuff. And so many of them, you know, I don't make all these recipes, but they do inspire me, and I just love them. Because I can tell you, I'm not I'm not one of the people that's stuck on certain foods. I'm not stuck on because I'm from the South, just Southern food. I love Italian food. I absolutely love Tex-Mex. And I do love some German food, some Pennsylvania Dutch, different cuisines. And I even like, I love stir fries, Chinese food, just different stuff like that. I love different foods. So that's one of the reasons I love to explore and go through a lot of these cookbooks. And I know a lot of y'all are the same way too. So let's go down here, and I'm going to turn y'all around. And I'll tell you where I got each cookbook at, if I can remember, or if it was a gift. And like I said, don't, my old, up here is a lot of magazines. And I'm going to go ahead and take them down so I can get it. excuse me, to my books better. I got these two right here. I know y'all seen these. You find these at flea markets and yard sales all the time. Better Homes and Gardens. This is 2007. And this is a Taste of Home Christmas book. All kinds of different appetizers and things that you might, good recipes that you might want to fix at holidays, Christmas time, Thanksgiving. And I got this one at a yard sale. Not sure how much. I'm going to say most of these books that I buy will either be anywhere from 50 cents to $4. This one right here is one of my favorites. See if I can do this without knocking them down. I got this at a flea market, and I have looked this book over and over and over. I used to watch Martha Stewart in her early days, and I always thought she was so talented in everything that she done. And I found this book, and I didn't give much for it at all, or I wouldn't have got it. Probably $2 or $3 at the most. But there's just so much in here. You know, she's good at so many things. Not just recipes, but how to entertain. Like, I'm a big entertainer, but, you know, some people are. But some of her stuff, of course, I wouldn't cook. But even at that, whether if I would cook it or not, I still would love to look at it and learn and get ideas. Because she can make everything look so good. And like I said, this was in her older days of being on TV and putting out books. And when I looked at this one at the flea market, I stood there and looked at it for a long time. And I thought, you know, and that's what I do. When I pick up a cookbook, I'm not just going to get it just because it's a cookbook. I look through them to make sure that I'm even going to be interested in the book to begin with. And I do buy some of them for gifts too. In her house, I don't know if she even lives in the same house that she used to. But this cookbook's got some really good pie recipes in it too. But her house that she lived in, I thought was always so rustic and so pretty. But like I said, she may not live in that same house anymore. I don't watch her anymore. I just love her older shows and her older days, or younger days, to put it that way. And I just thought everything she done was really interesting. But I just don't watch her much anymore. I guess the interest is just gone. People change. And but that's one of them. I bought that one. And this is another one that I found at a flea market. If anybody has one or has seen one like this. It says Things Cooks Love. Sur la Table by Mary Simmons. I would say that I probably give $3 to $4 for this one. It may just been $2, but like I said, I never hardly ever give over $4 for any of these cookbooks. But when I was looking through this book, there was a lot of good recipes in here. This is caring for cast iron skillets. I need to do another video on that. I never really done a really big video on taking care of cast iron, because there's so many out there. And then when you put it on there, you get scorned and thrown to the ashes when you get on there and try to tell people how you've always took care of your cast iron skillets. You know, there's always just one way to skin a cat to a lot of people. But y'all know my way of life. There's more than one way to skin a cat. But this really, to me, interested me. This tells you how to use a Dutch oven. The caring and using, of course, of your Dutch oven. oven braised short ribs with fennel, oven baked cannellini beans. Then this is how to use a fish poacher, which I've never used. I don't even think I've ever ate poached fish before. But I do love fish. Certain fish, not all. Here's using a grill pan, and then recipes for the grill pan. This is a saucepan and saucer. Then it'll give you recipes for using that. So it was very interesting to me. Then the roasting pan, it tells you tips for using and how to care for it and alternatives. And then it'll give you recipes after it, how to use a roasting pan and skillet. So this, to me, would be a really good one for a new bride or a gift, you know, for a new bride. But then your stock pot. So this is the name of it. Things Cooks Love. Implements, Ingredients, and Recipes by Mary Simmons. Sur la Table. It's a pretty book, too. Oh, I'm going to start putting some of these back. Let's see. This one is another holiday cookbook. This is Southern Living. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen this one or have it or have had it. This is 2015. Cooking, Entertaining, and Giving. It's a special edition presented exclusively by Dillard's. But I got this at a yard sale. And like I said, there's probably nothing in here that well, that's upside down. Oh. It's a $10 book. In 2015, it was a $10 book. And I guess, well, I don't remember it being that way, but this side, it's this way. When you go back this way, you got to turn it up the other way. But it does have some interesting hors d'oeuvres in here, some hors d'oeuvres, and of course, it being from Dillard's, I'm sure it's ooh la la recipes, but they do look good. And I love looking at different Christmas decorations and stuff too. Kind of gives you ideas. So, Christmas Cookbook, Southern Living, 2015. And I probably give anywhere from $1 to $2 for it. Now, The Taste of Home, Complete Guide to Baking. Oh, you can see, now see, I fibbed. I give $6 for that. Either that or it was probably half price or something. Because I don't know why I'd give $6 for a cookbook. Maybe I did. Maybe it was on sale or something. The pink dot was half price or something, probably. But this is Taste of Home's Complete Guide to Baking. And it has, a ton of good recipes in here. And you can see how I've got the ones that I have used and used enough that I've got them marked. But there's a lot of them in here. So many good recipes in here that I do need to start making, especially around the holidays. Just seems like there's just not enough time to get all those recipes in. So, let's see. I was trying to find a date on it. You know, it's funny how all these books were printed in China. Me and Danny was sitting in church the other day, and I was looking through my Bible, and for some reason I went to the very front page, like this one, and it said printed in China, and I showed it to Danny. I said, I never realized this, but yes. I'm trying to find a date And y'all may be seeing it, and I'm looking over it. I'm not seeing a date on this one, but it is an older cookbook. Anyways, Taste of Home's Complete Guide to Baking. I recommend this book highly. Got a lot of good recipes. And we're going to stop at this book because I don't want to make this video too long. Oh, let's see. Did I buy this at a flea market or did somebody gift this to me? You know, it come from, it says property of Boone County Library in Harrison, Arkansas. If somebody sent this to me and y'all watching, let me know because I sure don't remember. But this ain't even a cookbook. But it's stuck in there. But this is books that I like to look at too. All the rustic decor. I love it. Primitive looking, antique, old. I do like that, but that's not a cookbook. So we'll go right here, and we'll stop at this one. Now this one is a new one. Instant Pot Duo Crisp Air Fryer Cookbook for Beginners. I just don't use my air fryer much. I guess I need to, but I know a lot of y'all do. And I can't even tell you that I've really sat down and looked at this book yet, but it's got a lot of different recipes for using your Instapot or your air fryer. And I may have got this off Amazon. Can't remember. So if a lot of y'all love using your Instapot or your air fryer, regardless what kind they are, this is one of the books. Something must have got my interest on it though, for some reason. I think here's another Taste of Home. We're going to stop right here, and when we come back on a different video, I'm going to know that we're going to start with this one, the Taste of Home Classic Cookbook, and we'll look at it. So, how many books did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 so far. Some of my favorites. This one right here we're going to look at. It's A Cabin Full of Food. And this one I got at a flea market. And y'all are going to find this one very interesting. It's the Beans and Grains Bible. And I have already learned a lot out of this book. So on my next video, if there's time, we will start here with this Taste of Home Classic Cookbook. And then we'll go on down. And we'll just keep looking at Miss Lori's cookbooks as we go. And I do know as time goes on and it's getting closer to the holidays, I'm going to start doing more of the holiday cooking recipes. It just seems like the closer it gets to holidays, Miss Lori starts running out of time, and I just don't get all the holiday recipes. I mean, I've gotten all the usual, you know, old-fashioned recipes that, you know, everybody that we all do every year and have forever. But there's so many good recipes out there for different holiday dinners and desserts and gifts to give people. There's just so much out there. And I can remember in my younger married days when my kids were home, Danny, you know, he always worked so much, or he would be gone on the truck or something. So I had a lot of time on my hands, even though I was so busy, you know, taking care of everything myself. I've done a lot of cooking, and I've done a lot of, experimenting, cooking, and for the first time, just different things trying to. We never ate out much, so I would think, you know what? I can make that, I can make that, and I can make that. And so there was always something going on in my kitchen all the time. That's where I spent most of my time, was in that kitchen. And my kids can tell you that too. They can remember, Mama, always in that kitchen. Um, I'm still in the kitchen, but not as much as I used to be, that's for sure. Um, Sometimes I wonder, I ask Danny once in a while, I'm like, how do me and you have so many dirty dishes when it's just us two? I don't understand it. Of course, you know, when you're when you're doing recipes and trying to do videos and stuff, you're going to, it won't stop going down, y'all. You're going to mess up a lot of dishes. And when you're doing it all yourself, these people that have these big, um, they're on there with their, say, for instance, Pioneer Woman or Paula Deen, or just, I'm just naming off some off my head, have these cooking shows. But then you have a lot of them that have people that come in and they cut up they get all their recipe stuff together, all the ingredients together, and chop everything up for them and get everything out, lined up, and get them started. And, all they pretty much have to do is just talk and cook it. And then when it's over, they just kind of walk away and somebody else comes in and does all the cleanup. And here at this house, that don't happen. I got to do all the cleanup. I tell you, there's been some recipes that I have done, and I can't tell you how many dirty dishes I'd have in the background, but, um, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. That's just the way it is. So it's just real life around here. So I hope y'all have liked looking at some of the recipe books. I can't go just through all of them and show all the recipes, but I just want to go through them and show you what books I have, and talk about them just a little bit, because we have a lot of them to go through, that's for sure. And I wanted to show y'all, I've had people ask me how I put my corn up. I do have a video canning corn, and it is, I mean, the corn's good. It's a good way to preserve it, that's for sure. It's not my favorite, and I talked about that. I just love it put in the freezer. To me, it has more of a more fresh taste to it than when you can it. It's just almost like sometimes a lot of the stuff that you can just, to me, tastes like it's just been cooked to death. But that being said, you still have to preserve your food. And um, to me, the dry beans that I can all the time and stuff like that, they do really good because they're coming from, a dry state. And to get them cooked and pressured, they don't, you're not going overboard really cooking them to death. So green beans, stuff like that, no, that's all good. But there's just certain things, and one of them to me is corn. And it's not that it's bad, because I've had a lot of canned corn, and like I said, I've got a video canning corn, but I prefer, and that's why I had a little bit of room in the freezer, and I thought I'm going to save this space for this fresh corn, because this is what Mr. Brown likes too. He absolutely loves it that way. So if you've never put fresh corn up the way I did, it's so easy, and it just tastes so fresh and so good. So try it. I'm glad y'all stuck with me a little while. Um, we got so much to do. School started yesterday, and it has been really busy last 2 days. But you know, Mr. Brown, his first day, of course, he is a transportation director at the school. He's the bus mechanic and a bus driver. And the first day of school, first day of school that morning, a bus quit running on the route. It broke down. So, you know, that first day when you got something like that happen, you're just like, oh, geez, get me through this day. And of course, he always gets it fixed or tries to get it fixed one way or another. And getting all the kids just back into school and back in the schedule, and um, the teachers getting them in the classroom and getting them settled in, and then the lunch ladies getting them in there and getting them through the lunch line, and being a part of their life, and just getting them through there, getting them fed. And it takes a village, it really does. So, you know, if you think about it, and we talked about this other day, when kids are going to school, the first person that they see besides a parent or a guardian is a bus driver. And they get on that bus, and you know, the bus driver, if he's you know, a kind bus driver and doing his job, he tells them good morning, and you know, they sit down, and they're on that bus anywhere from 30 minutes, some of them an hour. And then at the end of the day, they are the last person they see when it comes to school, because that bus driver takes them home and lets them off and tells them goodbye and have a good afternoon. And you know, so it just takes all of us. When them children come through the lunch line, we're kind of like their grannies or their mamas. You know, we're getting them through there, and we're talking to them and fixing them a plate and feeding them, and sometimes patting them on the back and just being courteous and nice to them, because you never know what a child is going through. And the teachers in the classroom, and you know, not just teaching, but just being there for them, and being this person that these children are with for, you know, 8 hours a day. So, you know, sometimes you just sit around and think about that. You know, this child is here for 8 hours a day, and teaching them, taking care of them, feeding them, and getting them to school and back. So it takes us all. It takes us all. I've got a couple of grandchildren that are being homeschooled, and they're thriving so well with that and doing so good. And they've got a really good homeschooling community, and so I do support homeschooling too. I think it's a very good idea, and like I said, they're really thriving with it. So I'm so glad that parents have this choice, and it's a good thing. But Mr. Brown's going to be home here pretty soon off that school bus. You can see it's not real sunny outside. You know, it's cool here. I mean, it wasn't cool, but I don't know. There's no humidity, and it feels like it might be in the 80s today. I'm not for sure what the temp is, but it's such a change from what it has been, because, oh, it's been miserable. A lot of y'all know what I'm saying. But it's just been so nice. It almost makes me want to open the windows up. But I think the heat's supposed to come back here in a couple of days too. So I guess there's some kind of cool front that come through. I don't know. But we've had a bunch of rain too. We've been blessed with a lot of rain. Um, and we really needed it too. So if y'all are somewhere that you're not getting any rain, I pray y'all get some rain soon. And some of y'all can maybe get out of this, maybe have some of this cooler weather come through there and help y'all a little bit like it has here. But I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get Mr. Brown's supper cooked. Um, and we will be back in a couple of days. Um, there's a lot to do around here on the homestead. I'm wanting to start getting my greens, my spinach, all my greens planted for this winter. But me and Mr. Brown's got to get time to get some of my beds ready for that. I'm not going to plant a bunch of stuff for this winter because I've just got so much right now that that's going to provide for us and that we need to be eating on and clearing out. So I'm not going to be planting a bunch of fall stuff. I'm just going to be planting the necessity stuff that I know that we're going to need and we're going to eat this winter. And I absolutely love to grow fall greens and winter greens and lettuce because it is the best tasting. When you can grow it like that in the cooler weather, it is the best tasting greens you'll ever eat. And they're so good for you too. And I'm going to plant some carrots, and I may try to plant some onions and overwinter them, let them go dormant and through the fall and winter, and then let them grow, start growing again in the springtime, and get me some onions and some garlic. I had to plant some garlic for sure. But anyways, I'm going to get off here, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. We didn't do a whole lot. We just put some corn up, but that's okay. And as usual, when I talk very long, I start coughing. I'm going to show you this old. I've had this Better Homes and Garden Country Home Christmas book, 1996, since I've kept it all this time. Now, I had it at the old farmhouse. I never had money to really buy magazines. This one was just $4. Lord, I bet right now this thing's probably $10 or $12 if you want to buy it. But back then, $4 was a lot for me to spend on a magazine. So I'm going to get off here. It's ever started, like I said. And I hope y'all have a wonderful week. School's starting up everywhere. I'm getting hiccups. And our fair's starting too, so... Oh my gosh, I've got the hiccups. I don't know how I got the hiccups that easy, but I can't get rid of them, y'all. So I'm just going to tell y'all bye. And no, I haven't been drinking, but I do have the hiccups. So I'm going to tell y'all bye. Have a wonderful couple of days, and I'm going to see y'all sometime by the end of the week. So y'all take care, and we love y'all so very much. Oh, May.